Welcome everyone to today's explainer. So, if you're a woman over 30, you might be intimately familiar with a really frustrating reality. I'm talking about that gradual weight gain that simply ignores whatever diet you're on and this deep, overwhelming fatigue that no amount of coffee can fix. Well, today we are breaking down Sean Connell's fascinating book, Puffy to Powerful: Menopause, Perimenopause, Hormone Exercise, and Natural Solutions. We're going to explore his insights into exactly why this happens, and more importantly, how to fix it by taking a completely different approach to your body's hidden systems. So, why does your body feel stuck? You know the drill. You might be super strict with your diet, you're relentlessly exercising, maybe you're even cutting out all carbs and sugars. But that puffiness and exhaustion, it just won't budge. It can honestly leave you questioning your own efforts, feeling completely powerless, and wondering if you're just, not trying hard enough. But what if the problem isn't your effort at all?
I absolutely love this quote right here from the source text. Your body is not flawed. Your body is reacting. Isn't that an incredibly empowering message to internalize? The author emphasizes that this struggle has literally nothing to do with laziness or a lack of willpower. Instead, your hormones and your lymphatic system are sending out a physiological SOS. That stubborn weight and that puffiness, they're distress signals. They're just telling you that a vital system within your body has slowed down and needs a little help to get back online.
Okay, here's our agenda for today's explainer. First, the hidden struggle. Second, the body as a city. Third, the 4 forces of lymph flow. Fourth, the 5-minute daily reset. And finally, beyond the scale. Let's dive right in. Starting off with section 1, the hidden struggle.
So the author, Sean Connell, actually discovered this whole process the hard way. He was battling Cushing's disease and massive inflammation from a severe car accident. He was swollen, totally exhausted, and basically trapped in a body rebelling against him. But that trauma led him to find a missing link: the lymphatic system. When that link is broken, this really vicious loop begins. Step 1, puffiness accumulates because the body just isn't clearing waste. Step 2, all this trapped waste causes inflammation to spike. Step 3, that chronic inflammation disrupts your hormones. And finally, step 4, those disrupted hormones cause your metabolism to slow down to an absolute crawl, which, you guessed it, leads right back to more puffiness. This loop is exactly why those traditional restrictive diets fail for so many of us. You're fighting the symptom, not the system itself.
Moving right along to section 2, the body as a city. To really understand this, we're going to use a metaphor. And honestly, it breaks these ideas down so simply. It's like explaining biology concepts for young students, but it makes perfect sense for what we experience as adults. Picture your biology like the infrastructure of a bustling city. Think of your blood vessels as the highways, bringing oxygen and nutrients to all the neighborhoods. But every city needs a waste management system, right? Well, that is your lymphatic system. It acts as the body's fleet of garbage trucks. When these trucks are running on schedule, the city is clean. But when this forgotten system slows down, the garbage, toxins, excess fluids, cellular debris, starts piling up in the streets. And that pileup, that is the physical puffiness and swelling you're experiencing. Now, when garbage piles up, it causes hazards, and that leads us to inflammation. The author describes inflammation as a slow-burning fire in your tissues. Now, a little bit is totally fine for healing a cut, for instance. But chronic inflammation, that's like a smoke alarm that is endlessly blaring inside your house. It puts your entire body on high alert, causing deep fatigue, heaviness, and it makes your fat cells incredibly resistant to letting go of their stored energy. And finally, we have your hormones, which act as the traffic lights of your city. When they're balanced, green lights let energy and metabolism flow smoothly, and red lights tell you when to rest. But that blaring smoke alarm of inflammation, it causes massive traffic jams. The signals get totally crossed. This is exactly why simply eating less doesn't work. I mean, you can't successfully navigate a city where the traffic lights are malfunctioning and the garbage trucks are broken down. Now, when looking at fixing these hormonal traffic jams, the source material presents a very specific comparison regarding hormone management, and I just want to impartially report what the author found in his research. He reports a really striking claim. Maintaining natural progesterone levels is linked to a 500% decreased risk of breast cancer, as it promotes the natural death of premalignant cells. In contrast, the text states that synthetic progestins, like those used in some menopausal hormone therapies, are consistently linked in studies to increased breast cancer risks. The author strongly advocates for natural over synthetic solutions to safely manage these delicate traffic lights. Okay, section 3, 4 forces of lymph flow.
So how do we fix those garbage trucks and get the city running again? The good news is we do not need punishing hours of high-intensity interval training. The lymphatic system isn't broken. It just needs to be manually activated. Let's look at 4 super accessible, natural forces that serve as the reset buttons for your body. Force number 1 is breath. Oxygen is your first medicine. Deep, diaphragmatic breathing acts as a powerful physical pump for the lymph fluid in your chest and abdominal cavity. Think of your lungs as bellows, clearing out the smoke from that fire of inflammation. The author suggests a quick reset using box breathing. Inhaling for 4 counts, holding for 4, exhaling for 4, and holding for 4. Just 2 minutes of this instantly calms stress hormones and gets things flowing.
Force number 2 is bounce, which is where gravity meets energy. Bouncing, especially on a mini trampoline or rebounder, is the ultimate lymphatic activator. Think about it. At the top of the bounce, you're momentarily weightless, and at the bottom, gravity pulls on every single cell. This gentle up and down motion acts like squeezing and releasing a sponge. It safely forces open millions of one-way lymphatic valves to flush out toxins. And the best part, it does it all without the joint strain of running on hard pavement. Force number 3 is stroke. This is all about using your own hands, or maybe a dry brush, for self-massage. By gently stroking your skin up and down your arms and legs, you are physically clearing blockages. A good way to visualize this is sweeping leaves off a garden pathway. It's just a simple, mechanical action that clears away the debris so that fluid and energy can freely flow through those pathways once again. And force number 4 is energy. We have to remember that the body basically runs on electrical circuits. When stress overloads your system, those circuits flicker and dim. Mind-body practices like grounding in nature, qigong, tai chi, or honestly, even just 5 minutes of intentional, mindful movement help to lower that stress hormone, cortisol. It restores the electrical current, bringing your city's power grid completely back online. Which brings us to Section 4, the 5-minute daily reset. The core philosophy here is that your body responds vastly better to daily consistency than to sporadic, intense punishment. It's kind of like how brushing your teeth every day prevents major dental issues. 5 intentional minutes a day is all it takes to maintain your body's energetic hygiene and keep the lymph flowing. Let's look at how this builds minute by minute. You start minute 1 with breath, using deep box breathing to oxygenate your cells. Minutes 2 and 3 belong to the bounce, lightly jogging or rebounding to squeeze that sponge and flush toxins. Minute 4 is the stroke, physically brushing the arms and legs to clear surface puffiness. And finally, minute 5 is energy, just settling into a mindful flow to lower cortisol. It is so highly achievable and totally transformative. Now, if you're using a rebounder, the author details a really interesting specialized technique from Dr. West called the hormone harmony rebound. As you bounce gently, you softly stroke under your rib cage to stimulate brain function. Then you intentionally hold your breath briefly while mentally listing and focusing on your endocrine glands, from your pituitary all the way down to your reproductive glands. By combining physical bouncing with breathwork and mental intention, you bring the entire glandular system into unison, ensuring they're all operating together to restore balance. And finally, Section 5, Beyond the Scale. You know, while shedding that stubborn, puffy weight is often what brings people to this method in the first place, the real magic is the comprehensive, holistic upgrade to your entire quality of life. When the garbage trucks are working and those traffic lights are synced up, you don't just lose weight. You upgrade from a flickering candle to a steady flame. You experience consistent energy without those awful 3 p.m. crashes. Hormonal harmony leads to regulated menstrual cycles and so much easier perimenopause transitions. Plus, because toxins are clearing out, your skin naturally glows without needing expensive creams. And your white blood cells can circulate freely, giving you a highly resilient immune system. So, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Are you ready to stop fighting your body and start listening to it? Your body isn't broken, and it definitely isn't punishing you. It has just been waiting for you to clear the roadblocks. By adopting a simple 5-minute routine of breathing, bouncing, stroking, and flowing, you can transform from feeling puffy and stuck to feeling incredibly powerful. The tools are literally right in your hands, and your body is ready to change today. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.